Hi, we're JQT Travels. My name is Josh.
And my name is Kasia. And this is our van, Daisy. She is a 28-year-old, 8-seater Spanish VWT4 Caravelle.
In this series, we're going to show you us repairing and converting the van into a fairly cheap camper, ready for some upcoming adventures.
So hit like and subscribe to come along for the journey.
My next job is to just degrease this under tray slightly. I think I might add maybe 2 or 3 drain holes underneath it as well. Just give it a bit of a degrease. It is pretty filthy, as you can see. Remove the sound insulation on it. As tomorrow I'm going to drop this off to get powder coated. So guys, just a little update. So I've cleaned the under tray and hammered out. There were a few dents like here. This entire piece here had dented in, and just a few others like in the corner, so I've straightened it all out. I've drilled in a few extra drain holes in points where I think water might collect, and I'm going to put it into that box so it don't get the car too dirty. It's still a little oily, as you can see on my fingers, but nowhere near as bad as it was. So we're on to the next job on the van, which is installing, it has just started to rain, which is not good for me, the EcoFlow alternator charger, which I'm planning on having basically there just under the driver's seat. I'm going to move that out of the way. I will make a wood base for it to sit on and then use the bracket to mount it on, because here will be the wardrobe for the van. There's the fridge going there, and the power bank I'm planning on having just at the end there for the majority of the time, or well, just anywhere, or even in between the wardrobe and the fridge. So it could go there in the middle, but either way, from this point it'll be easy to run the cable. It's not that one, it's this one here. So this is the cable for charging the power bank up that plugs into this port here. So yeah, so far, obviously the seats were removed anyway. I've just taken out this step, which is there on the floor, which literally just had just one screw there, and then it slots into these sockets. I've pulled the carpet back, unhooked the fuse box, which has got, can you see, oh, you can just see here, it's actually got like these white quick releases. Taken this plate down just to give me a bit more space, which were just on 2 bolts there. And then now, if I just shine my head torch, we are aiming, can we see on this actually? I don't know if we can. Oh yeah, we can. So just at the end of my finger there, you can see a yellow circle. Not very well, I'll say. Should I get it? No, you can't see any better. So yeah, just up there there's a yellow circle, which, if I come under the bonnet translates to this little circle here, so that takes you inside. There's a small rubber grommet here of which to feed the cables through, and then it's just as easy as connecting it up to negative and positive. So a pretty simple install, and then it's just a matter of connecting it to the phone and working out what power outage I can get out of it. Now I think this cable is incredibly long, far too long. Obviously they make it for long enough for sprinters, I've seen a lot for some reason where it gets fitted into the back of a lot of vehicles. Like on the instructions, it shows almost every time people mounting it in the rear of the vehicle. I don't quite understand why, but that is what it is. So I'm going to have a look. I might have to cut these cables down. I don't really need to be having, well, at the minute it looks probably like a metre or possibly even 2 meters worth of excess cable just coiled up underneath the bonnet. Not good thermally for the cabling, and just there's no room either. So yeah, we're going to have a look at that, see if we can sort it. So we managed to feed the cable through. Runs down there and up through. Let me try to get this. So we're back here. So this big label here, and this is what I was saying about the excess cable. So obviously this only needs to come to these 2 points here. So I've got all this cable excess. So I'm going to have to go pick up some new terminals for the ends because they're very large. This is 10mm cable, I believe. So that's going to have to go get changed, cut down and sorted. But I'll show you the issue I'm having now. The routing of the cable is not too bad. I'm thinking it's just going to sit underneath this carpet here. But then, due to the cable being so thick, where I want it to sit, which is there, it's going to hang out of the back. So my idea is to fold it over, something like this, and then I'll fold it back again, so like that. So it sits under the seat base over there. As you can see, it's the gap under the seat. So it's going to have to get folded up like that and then come through. I'm probably going to cut the carpet somewhere here for it to feed up through, and then it'll run round. But the issue I've got is this cable, due to being so thick and the fact it's joined side by side in this blanket, it is seriously not flexible. Like that's as much flex as you've got to take a corner there, which not great if I'm honest. Obviously we know cars are pretty quite tricky to run cables through, in a sense. Obviously much easier with the thin cable, but due to the power output of this, you can't do that. So yeah, it's a tricky one, but not exactly how I'd like it to be. But I don't think I've got any other option really. So is how it's gonna have to be. So yeah, so I'm gonna go pick up some terminals now. Hopefully when I get back it'll stop raining. It's not raining very heavily, but it's raining nevertheless. And then I can get all this trimmed down and fully sorted. Just got back from the shop. We've now got some of the correct size terminals for cutting down this wire to the right size. After checking the firmware on the power station, there's a label here on the EcoFlow, and it just says to check, basically upgrade to the latest software on your power station before plugging it all in to make sure it'll work. We've got the cable routed now. It comes down under this part of the carpet, under this ledge here, around the back, because you can just see where the indentation where the chair sits, and then it comes up through the carpet just here. This interference thing is very big. but it is what it is. You won't see it, it'll be under the chair anyway, and then there'll be a wardrobe in front of it. So all that's left to do is to trim this cable down to a respectable length, connect it up to the battery, and then we're pretty much good to give it a test. That's connected, and fused. So guys, I'm about to set up our power bank, which is the EcoFlow Delta S2 Max. And I can't quite remember now, but it's got, oh there we go, so you can take a maximum of 2,400 input, that's 2,400 watts of maximum recharging. And it has a total output of 2,786 watts, which is pretty incredible. That's all together, so that's 126 watts on the 12 volt system. On the, what we've got here? Oh, and on 4 of the normal 3-pin plugs, we've got a 2,400 watt total. And then we've got a few USB-A, USB-Cs. The USB-Cs have, there's 2 ports, one with a maximum, or both with a maximum of 100 watts per port. So it's a pretty impressive bit of kit, is this. It's a very expensive piece of kit that we've bought, but I think it's one of them things that you don't want to buy twice. You don't want to go cheap. We did get it on, there were a sale on, which if you keep looking out on the website, they do tend to have a lot of sales. It's quite heavy, you know, you can lift it fairly easily, especially with 2 people. The grab handles are very ergonomical. So let's see what we've got, let's show you. So on this side, we've got 4 normal plugs, a cigarette socket, which is just behind this rubber flap, just there. Then we've got, under this flap, these are, I believe, the input chargers. Yeah, charge speed there. So these are for plugging in your solar panels or the main power plug if you're charging it up off a 240, which is this one here. Then there's also, which you've seen me installing, or will see me installing, depending on which way around I put it in the video. This goes to the alternator charger, which is going to be the main way that we are going to be charging this unit, either at home on a 240 or through the EcoFlow alternator charger, which that is a really impressive bit of kit, how smart it is. Some of the things it allows you to do, for example, trickle charging the main vehicle battery, selecting how much draw you want to pull off of the alternator. We're quite fortunate on our van, we've got quite a high output alternator, it's a 120 amp. I know most vans, most cars are around 90 amps. So quite fortunate because that means we can really run quite high on the power that charging system is able to provide us. It's got a maximum output of 800 watts, which I don't believe we're going to be able to achieve. I think you need a stronger alternator than even what we've got, but we'll get a good wattage out of it, which with an hour or two's drive, we'll have this thing fully recharged. And obviously, as we're driving around day to day on our trips, then every bit of driving we'll be charging first our vehicle battery, which on the alternator charger, you can select when it starts to draw, so it won't start taking power from the main battery and alternator until they've reached a certain level of charge, which, you know, all it is let's put a picture in, it's just like a little box. Yeah, so I've wired that in, and now I'm going to set this up. I believe there might be some software updates need doing, so we'll have a look in the manual. I've already seen that there's an app for us to download, which may have a setup guide there, so I'm going to download the app and see how it goes. So I've brought the power bank into the van and plugged it all in, done all the firmware updates, added it to the app that you needed. Potentially you don't need Wi-Fi, but it said like smart setup, use Wi-Fi, so that's what I did. Clicked on that, linked it to the house's Wi-Fi, and from there plugged it in, changed some of the settings on the app to get the charger to start working, and it gets sent in like a very low mode protection. So yeah, I've set it all up now, and I'll show you the screen on my phone and on the display on the power bank. So obviously this is not where the charger's going. The charger is going under there, but we've been cleaning that. It just plugs into the side like that. And as you can see, it's saying it'll take 2 hours. It's currently at 35% charge, and it's got an input of 800 watts. I did actually just test and plug in the Hoover, and it didn't struggle at all. I think that produced a peak of about 2.4 kilowatts and then dropped down to 1 kilowatt. So really impressive what it can do. And then this is the app. So this is what you see on your phone. So you can see 14.1 volts. That's what's coming off of the alternator. That's 800 watts of power going in with a maximum of 70 amps charge. You can turn it on and off, control all the parameters of this charger through the phone and through the app. This is quite a cool feature, the battery maintenance. So what that means is when you park up on a site, if you're just wanting to trickle charge your battery, if perhaps, like in our case, we don't have any interior lights that are plugged into the power bank. We might have some fairy lights, but our main lights are the original, do I have any? Yes, I've got one here. Are the original factory lights. As this one has, I think it's got one here, one in the middle, one at the front, and then it's got a little light here, and then another one down by the steps. So that's our main lighting in the van currently, and we can always upgrade that and whatnot. But sorry, to get back to the battery maintenance feature, what it does is it gives a 100 watt trickle charge from the power bank back to the starter battery. So long as whatever you're drawing when the engine isn't running is less than 100 watts, then the power bank is able to maintain full charge on your starter battery, which is really clever. And if you've forgotten to do that and completely drained your battery, then there's an option here to reverse charge. I don't know why that won't focus, but yeah, just that middle one there, and that'll do exactly what it says on tin. So the power bank then will start properly charging your starter battery from flat, providing obviously this has got enough power in it itself. So yeah, two really clever features. Particularly I really like that battery maintenance one. Just so you know, your starter battery is always going to start, especially when you attach a diesel heater, as you can't run a diesel heater off of the power bank, so that will be attached to your main battery, and that will have a little bit of a draw, but nowhere near 100 watts. I've seen that they draw roughly like 150 watts on startup and then drop down significantly less. So that 100 watts throughout the night will completely save your starter battery. So yeah, really impressed with this EcoFlow product. It's just so clever and so simple. The installation of it couldn't be any easier, really, and yeah, just everything controllable from the app. I can see everything that it's doing, so yeah, it's just super clever. So like I said, you can charge this power bank up on mains charge. So it's currently at 43% charge. Just plugged it into the wall socket now, and I'll show you how much it's charging at. So on the display here, it's inputting 2,191 watts, which is incredible, and it's going to take 37 minutes to fully charge. Just finished cutting out the floor ply. So done in two sections, the front one here and then the rear one in a separate piece. We've had to leave a space here for the safety belts, and then I need to get a door strip to go over and cover this joint, which will go on after, and also a strip to cover this edge here so you don't get too damaged when you're coming in and out of the van, and potentially one for that side end as well. So just left the glue to set a little bit on the floor. It's come out looking pretty good. There's a little bit of glue there that I must have oversprayed. And we're just starting cutting around it now. Thought I'll let the edges cure for a bit longer, and I'm just going to cut around it all now, and then that's the floor done, ready for the van, and then for us to start screwing and bolting things down onto it. Yeah.
How do you like it, Josh?
Yeah, I think it looks very nice.
You like it?
Yeah, used one of these curved blades, the Stanley knife. Came recommended from watching people fit Lino online. They recommended having that curved blade, and also I had one of these as well, which a hooked blade, which helped a little bit, but the curved blade's the one to go with. It cut very nice. So
Yeah, it looks
yeah,
very
come
cool.
out pretty good. Pretty happy with it.
Is it better than you expected, or you?
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
Very
Yeah, a
good.
bit better than I expected.
Yeah.
So no, look forward to getting it in the van.